one reason I think so many people are leaving their faith and leaving the church when they come into adulthood. That's a lack of biblical literacy. I grew up in the church my entire life, and I'm just now recognizing some of the really important crossover between the Old Testament and the New Testament. Maybe I wasn't listening well enough, but I was never given that proper foundation to see how deeply the Old Testament stories and prophecies connect us with the New Testament. I saw every Bible story as its own individual story growing up as a kid, and then never really got really much deeper than that. I began to read my Bible much more seriously as an adult in my 30s, and also teach my kids about biblical literacy. I realized how much I was missing that much. And then you come into adulthood not really understanding the truth about your faith or the foundations of why your faith is true. It's going to be a lot easier to lose it. Going to church is great. We cannot just solely rely on our churches to be teaching our kids. I'm seeing so much how all of this stuff, biblical literacy and theology and just the reality of Christianity, has to be really woven into every part of our lives. I thought of this morning as I was reading Genesis about Joseph, and my Bible has a little section where it points out the parallels between Joseph and Jesus. That's one of the things I missed growing up. All the symbolism, all the people that God brought before Jesus to symbolize who Jesus was going to be to us. I was reading the story about Joseph and his brothers when they came to, beg him for grain, and they were just desperate. And he literally just forgave them for selling him into slavery, basically leaving him for dead. He was so overcome with emotion to see his family after all of these years that he forgave them in full. He brought them into his palace. He gave them everything they need. He took care of them. He loved them with his whole heart. It was then that it struck me that Joseph represents Jesus, and we represent the brothers. The fact that I had never actually truly thought about that before really shocked me. It's a reminder to myself and to anyone else that you've got to be teaching your kids at home. You have got to be incorporating this stuff and learning biblical literacy with them, that they can walk into young adulthood equipped with the knowledge and the truth about the Bible and about Christianity. See the Bible as one big story, every single smaller story interconnected and pointing towards Jesus. When you don't look at it in that full context, a lot of things may not make sense. But when you do, you can see how God is working everything out for the good. And you can see that God never breaks a promise. In short, we have a responsibility to teach our kids. Otherwise, the world's going to teach them for us, and we're not going to like that. Follow me for more Christian mom tips and sign up for my newsletter at the link in my bio.